he oozed charisma, right? Like I can't even claim to have been like a huge wrestling fan in that era, and even I kind of knew about him just because of the swag and
he oozed machismo. He always used to say that machismo was amazing
for sure.
And a guy, by the way, who has unfortunately had some downs after pro wrestling.
Sure.
Actually, I mean, even towards the end, and has overcome and down and overcome, down and overcome, and hoping that he kind of was able to find some peace. Horrible. This happens too often in wrestling.
To steal a line from him, bad times don't last, but bad guys do.
The original bad guy, with all due respect to Chael P, he was the original bad guy.
I'm sure there's been some borrowing, right, from Chael, from the original bad guy, the innovator.
I just actually saw this tweet.
What do we got?
401 from Dave Meltzer. Scott Hall was taken off life support 4 hours ago. He is still alive at this writing. Miracles have happened, but this would need to be one of them.
Yeah.
Let's go, Scotty.
Yeah. Sending our wishes to the family. Okay. It's hard to
transition
this is why to lighter material out of this. Let's talk. How about we start with wow, I sounded very New York when I said that. Let's talk
TAWK.
Let's talk how about John Lineker? You were just talking about him with Cheeto Vera. Let's talk John Lineker.
Cheeto not willing to give him any props.
Yeah, I mean rough. Not willing to get there, and accusations thrown.
Cheeto quickly rising atop my rankings of favorite guests.
All timer. Yeah. He's one of those, and there's been a few of these over the years that we've talked about this that I've talked about in the past. Tyron Woodley is one of them.
Right.
There's some that I kind of gravitate toward, not because they're about to say one quote or one thing outlandish that's going to be the one that gets the headline, not because they're the biggest star at the time, but just kind of keep it real. Cheeto Vera keeps it very real, and he's one of those that has transcended into that category.
Hooker too, when his Wi-Fi is working properly.
When he's not in the bomb shelter.
Right.
But yes, Cheeto keeps it real. But let's give, on the other side of the coin, let's give some props and some credit and some respect to John Lineker.
Yes.
One of the most exciting fighters on the planet. I don't think I'm going out on too far of a limb to be able to say that. You know what you kind of get with John Lineker. He is going to wade in there, and he's going to throw hooks at your body and your head, which is a very fan-friendly fighting style, let's call it. And not only was he able to put on an exciting fight, but he's able to capture one championship gold. So congratulations to John Lineker for becoming a champion in a very busy weekend of combat sports. That one might have flown a little bit under the radar, but congrats to John Lineker.
Insane card, by the way. I think the last 9 fights were finishes.
Yeah, and
including your boy, Gary Tonin, unfortunately going for the belt.
Came up short. Look, it looked like, let's call it what it is. It looked like he was deep on that leg lock. It looked like if he had a little more time and Tom Lee was a little less prepared, he would have been able to finish that. He finishes that against most fighters, but this is not BJJ, and he was exposed, and I don't mean exposed as in like he wasn't good and he got exposed. I mean literally in the fight itself, he was exposed to the strikes. And put himself in that position by attempting the leg lock. So I'm sure he'll be back. I'm sure he'll learn from it. But congratulations to Tan Le, who put on a fantastic performance.
Tan Le, a guy with a great backstory as well.
Yeah.
Trains out of, I believe, Louisiana with Dustin Poirier.
Yeah, that's right.
A Contender Series guy that they passed up on.
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, I get, look, the bar, the threshold for Contender Series has never made much sense to me. It feels kind of arbitrary week to week, even season to season. But an exciting style fighter, somebody that you would think you'd want to have on the roster.
Yes.
So I don't quite understand that one, but again, we've seen this before where they've passed on people who put on a great.
I feel like they passed a lot more in the early days and not some. Like now everyone gets in, like the Brendan Loughnane. Brendan Loughnane has that same fight today. He probably gets in, no?
Absolutely. In fact, Algio, who was his opponent, has gotten in since and lost. The bar has been lowered. The shift toward Contender Series fighters filling out the bottom end of UFC cards has been in full effect. And so, there are a lot of people who had fought previously who look like. Kevin Holland didn't make it, and he won a fight. Now there was,
Wow.
you know, he wasn't highly regarded by Dana White because he was talking a little bit too much, and then he got the opportunity to fight Thiago Santos, called Big Mouth famously. But yeah, there's tons of talent that was passed on earlier seasons that now would have easily cleared that threshold.
Oh yeah,
For sure. But congrats to John Lineker and congrats to Tom Lee. Tom Brady is Rick's pick this week for
are you kidding me?
the
This
most
is
MMA, the most
freaking-
MMA retirement that wasn't actually an MMA fighter. So congratulations to Tom Brady for achieving that. That was a very special level.
This
of
is
MMA
trolling right
retirement.
here.
No.
Give me a break with this Tom Brady nonsense. I mean, come
What?
on. First of all,
Go
you know
ahead.
what? You know what's the funny thing about it?
Get it off your chest.
Schefter and Darlington report that he's retired. Then it's like,
Yeah.
no, he's not
No.
retired. Could you imagine, by the way, if he would have stuck to the not retired? That would have been the biggest egg on their faces of all time.
Sure.
But yes, he comes out with the retirement. It's like an 8-page swipe. It's like a way too long, but it's an 8-page swipe just about the Bucks, which is bizarre in its own right. No mention of the Pats. Gets
You love
called
this
out.
detail of it, by the way.
It's like he's one of those classic, like, he's one of the good guys, but he ain't. He ain't one of the good guys. He's an actual cheater. All of a
Wow.
sudden,
Okay.
yeah,
Okay,
we just
talk
want,
on it.
we
Joe-
just,
Joe's losing his mind back here.
Listen.
Joe's losing his mind.
are we just gonna forget about the whole Deflategate nonsense? Are we forgetting about spying on the other teams? Are we forgetting about just discarding somehow his cell phone with all the evidence on it? He ain't one of the good guys. All right, I'm sorry, he ain't one of the good
Joe
guys.
On camera right now.
Yeah, come on camera. I have no problem. He's an absolute cheater, and I can't believe
Mike Heck paging Mike Heck. Can we get?
I can't believe Patriots fans defend this guy the way they do. Oh, he's surely going to write something about us. It's coming in the next tweet. It was never coming. It was a half-ass quote retweet afterwards just to be like, oh, yeah, guys, thanks for all the memories, too. I mean, you only supported me more than any other city has ever supported an athlete for 20 years. And, oh, yeah, I'm going to give you a half-ass quote RT. Then he goes away. Then literally like a day after the retirement, already the rumors start that he's coming back. Like, the guy hasn't even retired for 24 hours, and there's rumors that he's coming back. He hasn't even like done anything close to a retirement. Probably didn't even file the paperwork, whatever that paperwork may be. He's
Sure.
coming back. Now I have to listen to 3 more weeks of him. He's going to fulfill a dream. He's going to go play for the Niners. He's going to play for the Niners. Wow, it's such a great story. He's going to screw Jimmy Garoppolo out of another job. All right, that's going to happen. Then he flies to Manchester, and we're like, oh yeah, he's meeting with the Glazers to get out of the contract because he's such a good guy. He took a pay cut, blah, blah, blah. And then we get by the way, we get a Sunday afternoon tweet saying that he's back. By the way, stealing the thunder of a real Boston legend, the big ticket himself, Kevin Garnett, in the midst of his retirement ceremony. You noticed that, right?
The reunion with Ray, everything.
Yeah.
Took the shine away.
I mean, that should have been the moment of the night, right?
Yeah.
Should it not have been the moment of the night?
keep going.
That was a real Boston story. The big 3, they finally got the Celtics on top. I was
Hatchet
cheering
buried.
up. Yes.
Hatchet buried.
Allen's first time back. All
Yep.
3 of them are hugging. Big ticket, one of my all-time favorites when he was on the Timberwolves. Didn't like him so much on the Celtics, but not the point. He gets his jersey retired. You had to do it then, Tom? You couldn't have waited till Monday morning when nothing's going on? When everyone, like, why did you have to do it Sunday night? Who announces news like that on a Sunday night? I'll tell you who. An egomaniac. I'll tell you who. A cheater. I'll tell you who. Someone who deflates balls. And why is that important? Because it's easier to catch them. You bunch of marks.
I think
You know
it's
what?
about the throwing, but
No, it's easier to catch them. Oh, yeah, you get better grip. You catch it. Listen, I can't wait. I pray to God that he goes back to the Bucks because there's still some people who believe that he's going to go to the Niners. By the way, they still think that this is the
not
thing.
out of play, right?
And I can guarantee you this: Patriots fans are just dying for him to go over there and save that sorry sack franchise. We all know what happened back in January in Orchard Park. We don't need to bring it up, but I pray to God that they're still standing in February. Josh Allen's going to ram that football down his throat once and for all, and it'll be done. Thank you for coming back. You know what? I want to thank Tom Brady for coming back because the dream was over of us, capital US, going in there and beating the Tom Brady-led Bucks in the Super Bowl. Thank you for doing this so that we finally get to realize that dream. So I'm actually happy about this, for the record.
What I mean, just tremendous. You really brought it for
Screw
that
that
segment.
guy.
Thank
Screw
you for
that
that.
guy. And by the way,
And for all those reasons, though, you can admit that this is the most MMA retirement ever. Yes, like this is MMA retirement to it.
It's actually worse. No one does it like after 3 weeks. Who does it after 3 weeks?
I mean, we've seen less.
Yeah.
Chris Curtis retired twice in one night. I mean, it is the prototypical.
He got. I mean, the poor guy. Let us not say Chris
no.
Curtis's name in the same breath as Tom
He's
Brady.
a legend for it. He's wow.
One's a winner, one's a loser. All right. I have no problem saying. Yeah.
Tom Brady
Chris
not
Curtis.
a winner. Tom Brady not a winner.
Winner, Tom Brady, loser.
Oh wow.
Capital L.
This is special. I must say this is a special.
And by the way, you would think I would love Tom Brady. Tom Brady, former draft pick of the Montreal Expos.
Yeah, but he
spurned us.
Patriots, yes.
He turned his back on us the same way he turned his back on the great city of Boston, who I have a lot of love and admiration for. And the same way he's going to try to finagle his way out of Tampa.
You have a lot of love and admiration.
I do.
You just buried them and talked about how the Bills are going to put them in the grave.
Well, I mean, that's the franchise. The actual city is a lovely place to visit.
Okay, got it.
I enjoy visiting the
Hate
city.
everybody there and their sports teams, but the city itself.
I mean,
good.
I've had great memories in Boston, road trips and whatnot.
Yeah.
I just don't like, I will be honest, I don't like any of their teams. Don't like the Red Sox, don't like the Bruins, don't like the Celtics.
Fair enough.
The Patriots.
Fair enough.
I mean, they're kind of the rivals of all of my favorite teams in any event. No love for Tom Brady, and I think that was a whack move. By the way, why? Like, how much could have possibly changed? Do you dislike your family that much that you needed to,
boy.
I mean,
Go here, huh?
I mean,
Gotta say.
listen, Ryan Clark said it first, okay? Got like 50,000 retweets. So blame RC, blame Real Casual.
Oh God. Are we? You know what? I'm just gonna let you go. I might just
Blame that dude,
let you just riff.
Mr. Sensitivity.
Oh boy.
He's gonna come after me now.
All right, now I'm
Low
gonna
key threaten me.
I'm gonna go away from this. I'm gonna take this
sorry.
back here.
All right, sorry. You can't bring up Tom Brady at this hour and not trigger me, okay?
Maybe I knew what I was doing. Maybe I didn't.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll talk. How about what could be a retirement? What could be a move away from the UFC? We don't know yet, but I think I want to carve out a little bit of space to give some much deserved credit and kudos to Marlon Moraes, a guy who spent some of his better years in WSOF and then came over to the UFC and looked like he was bound for a title. In fact, fought Henry Cejudo in that title fight. Came up short, but not for lack of effort. If anybody less tough than Henry Cejudo was in that fight, that's probably a world championship wrapped around Marlon's waist. Now on a skid, I don't think he won that Jose Aldo fight. Jose Aldo fight. Why am I saying Jose all of a sudden? That Jose Aldo fight, which would make it 6 straight losses if you do that. On the downside, clearly, I think the skills are still there, but the defensive prowess is not, and he can't seem to withstand the attacks of his opponents. But deserves some time in the sun. I think if people are only tuning in now, they're not going to know how good Marlon Moraes was in his prime, both offensively and defensively. One of the real implementers of those leg kicks that are now so famous. Really stuck to that, and another WSF stablemate, Justin Gaethje, as well. But at that time, one of the most devastating leg kickers. So shout out to Marlon Moraes. Took off his gloves in the cage. We now don't know what that means. Obviously, he didn't get a chance to speak. We don't know if that's retirement. We don't know if that's just feeling like frustration or feeling like he's on his way out. But I think Marlon Moraes is somebody who did a lot of good in the world of MMA and was a very high level fighter. Who hasn't been able to show it recently. So shout out to that guy.
Legend.
A legit juggernaut in his prime.
True good guy.
And a good dude. Yeah, I think that's
Great
important
dude.
to note as well.
Fortunately, haven't talked to him in a bit, but love him dearly.
Yeah.
And had a great run. I was talking to GC about this. This is probably the time of the day when he was freaking out about potentially losing his animation and wasn't listening to me at all. However, he had an amazing run and then left Mark Henry in New Jersey and moved to Florida. Now, sometimes these things are coincidental, right? It can coincide, but there is a clear line of when he was with Henry and the success that he had, and when he left Henry and the lack of success that he unfortunately suffered from.
For sure. I mean, I'm gonna hope and say, hopefully more coincidence than that. And look, if that's what it was, and sometimes this happens, go back and see if you can have some success. If I had to guess, do you think Marlon Moraes is done? My guess is no. My guess is we see him elsewhere.
Well, did you see?
Other
You
than
saw him on the
UFC.
broadcast, right? He was taking off his
take
gloves.
off the gloves. Yeah.
But he never
But
said
again,
anything.
He didn't say what that meant. And we've
He
seen
hasn't.
fighters in
Well, they didn't ask him
frustration.
on the broadcast. He could have.
He didn't get that moment. Yep.
He didn't get that moment. You know, it's interesting because I was watching, to this point, to a degree, I was watching.
By the way, just quickly.
Yeah.
I want to let you have that. But you know, Molly McCann took off her gloves in the cage once, and it was just a tribute to her father. Like this happens.
That's
we don't
true.
know what that means. But
That's a fair point. No. It's a very fair point. Khalil Roundtree in his post-fight press conference.
Yeah.
I don't even know if you call those press conferences. I guess
Scrums, press
whatever.
conference. Yeah.
He was talking about how it upsets him that the losing fighter doesn't get to go back and talk. And I think that's a really interesting point. Now, there are times when someone's severely hurt, concussed, whatever, they shouldn't probably talk, right? But I actually think that the media, like I will say, like some of the, I don't want to say best, but some of the most fascinating interviews that I've ever had have been with losing fighters, right?
Sure.
It's just a whole different perspective. I would say, like for myself, like I'm actually hesitant and I don't want to say afraid, but like I don't want to bother someone. Like I don't actually think it's the media saying we don't want to talk to you because you lost. I actually think for the most part we don't want to bother you because you lost.
Yeah.
So I think that, you know, I think the media deserves a break on that one. But in a case of Marlon, I wonder if he would have said, if he was retiring, like, hey, can I go talk so I can say this to people, because he didn't get an opportunity to do that. It was very clear. He's like right in the shot when he was taking him off.
Yep.
So yeah.
I'm sure we will find out. Obviously, we will know what's next. That Marlon will come out, but I understand the perspective that you're saying. Like, often these are the better interviews, but not everybody wants to do that in their lowest moment, right? Not everybody wants to have that microphone in their face and say something. So I think it's probably on the fighter to potentially bring that to light, right? Like if Marlon felt like I need to say something, he can make that clear, and I think that has happened. I also think the stakes of it, right, in the main event, that's kind of a different story than a fight lower on the card. But yeah, certainly, I would want to know. I certainly do now on this Monday want to know what he was taking the gloves off for. Was it frustration? Was it actually a sign of something else? But I am sure we will find eventually. But either way, I think Marlon Moraes, a guy who in his prime was one of the best, deserves some recognition.
By the way, what about last night when I texted you, hey, is Khalil on Instagram? And you said no. Well, that means we were both blocked. Well, you probably looked at MMA fighting.
Yeah.
Did you check as yourself?
I did not. MMA fighting is what I was logging into.
Crazy. Is that a new thing where everyone? Because like I heard that there was a thing on Twitter where you can like mass block people. Someone told me that Gina Carano did that because I was all sad that she blocked me. But
I guess you could
apparently you can block people who are like connected to something. Like you put a
I think that's
keyword
probably it.
or
You could block people who are like either not following you or you're not following in like groups like that, I imagine. But yeah, I mean, and he came on and explained it. I'm like you. I'm surprised, and I think maybe this was part of the context I was thinking. I was surprised then he would be coming on to the show.
Yeah.
If that was the case, right? Like if you are blocked, typically your beefs take a little bit more massaging to get people to come on the show, as we've seen in some recent runs, right? Like it wasn't one DM to Bobby Green and all of a sudden he was on the show.
Right. No, this was fairly easy.
But yes, blocked.
Still blocked.
All of us blocked. Yeah, same. I have a feeling that one's not going to be lifted. I have a feeling that one's going to stand. Look, and it seemed, I will say, the justification that he provided on the show seemed less personal and more for his own habits. It was not necessarily like I don't want you to know what's going on with me. More, I don't want to see what's going on with you from that perspective, like the MMA sphere. And that's well within his right, I think it's that type of thing, though.
I still got love for him. I'm not going to take it personally.
I mean, great interview on the show today, right?
Yeah, he's the man. He is the man. And, by the way, all that other stuff aside, that was a tremendous win. Only one I got right on Saturday. And that kick was amazing. And his reaction to Connor tweeting about him was super cool because some people, now it's cool to hate on Connor.
For sure.
You know what I mean? Like, he was, like, genuinely taken aback.
Yeah. It meant something to him that Conor McGregor was talking about him. When Khalil Roundtree is engaged and firing on all cylinders and letting his attacks fly, that dude's a problem. That dude is a problem for people. When he's a little more timid, a little more passive, and people are able to get in on him, that's potentially where he's fallen short in the past. But offensively, when he's rolling and it's going downhill for him, that's a problem for people. He is a very technical, skilled, creative, powerful striker. So Carl Roberson's a good fighter. I rate him pretty highly. In fact, like, this dude he jumped into the kickboxing world with very little experience and like achieved at a decently high level like right away. I'm talking about Roberson. I respect that dude's stand up. When Khalil Roundtree found an opening that was scary, quite frankly, like that level of speed and power was scary.
Precision as well.
Yeah, as he alluded to with the Connor reference.
Okay,
that's all I got.
That's it, huh? No Khalil Roundtree.
I mean, I would have, but I mean, it's getting a little bit stale to pick the guys and girls who are on the show every single time. Yeah. You're reading my mind. You've got your finger on the pulse, like whatever we want to call it. Yeah, but it's hard. I'm trying to mine. Look, I give you Tom Brady. I give you the gems like that.
That's right.
You can't criticize. You can't criticize me for not having the guy who's just.
The clock over here still says 3:30. It's yeah, that's right. Thank you for that. I've been waiting for that.
Let's just...
No, but I keep looking and I'm like, oh, it's only 3:30. This is great. But in reality, it's actually 4:30. London. You going to London?
No.
No.
But I will be anxiously awaiting that card. I am excited.
What are you most excited about? Am I going to London? No, I'm not.
What's the... with all due respect to Paddy's fight, which I think we all want to kind of see Paddy back in there.
Yeah, but
I'm really excited about Aspinall and Volkov. I believe Aspinall is the next guy. I really do at heavyweight. And I want to see, and I think Volkov is that measuring stick. I think Volkov is very much the guy who can either derail this or put him on that next level. So I'm looking forward to seeing that. I'm a big believer in Tom Aspinall. I think that guy is the truth. So I want to find out if I'm right or wrong. And I think a lot of people are like that. I know Bisping, on the show said that. So yeah, I want to see it.
Shout out to Michael Bisping for doing the Lord's work.
Yes.
Promoting the sport of mixed martial arts. But yes, I agree with that. I love the Hangman Arnold Allen fight.
Two of your favorites right there.
Two of my absolute favorites. I mean, Gunnar Nelson fighting again is like, what? Like, I keep having to remind myself that this is actually happening.
He's back.
Because the last time we saw him was, what, 3 years ago? When was the last time we saw him? No, it was... yeah, it was 3 years ago.
Yeah.
Well, 3 years in September. 3 years in September was the last time. Yeah. That's insane. Paul Craig is always fun. And Jack Shore versus Timur Valiev is a gigantic one. Ollie McCann. Mohamed Mokaev, I mean, that's a huge, I mean, this is a big-time debut. We've been talking about him forever. Corey McKenna, great character. Faber loves her. Nathaniel Wood, great Jai Herbert against Ilya Taporia. That's a great fight.
Yeah. Ilya's a big favorite, but I like that fight a lot.
1 p.m. Eastern, it begins. And by the way, for the next 2 weeks, I know this because of the whole clock thing, UK is only 4 hours ahead. They're usually 5 hours ahead, but they're 4 hours until they change their clocks, I think, in 2 weeks. So for anyone wondering.
PSA.
I don't know how that would affect you. I mean, it's the time wherever you are, but like, just so you know, for now, I made the mistake with Dan Hooker because I booked him at 7 UK time thinking it's 2 o'clock. And then I realized, oh man, I told him the wrong time. 7 is actually 3. Worked out because we got more time with Khalil.
Yes.
Would have worked out perfectly. More time with Khalil, right up to Paige, go to Paige. But I was looking at the clock. I was like, oh, this is going to work out perfectly.
Hope she feels better.
Yeah, hope she feels better. There was something, I had some sort of bone to pick with, wasn't there something with you? Oh, yeah.
What do you got?
Yeah. See, in my mind, I was like, bone to pick. Shall we address the elephant in the room?
I'm not aware what you're referring to, but if you have something, please.
GC, do you want to handle this or should I handle it?
Yeah, you can handle it. I don't think there's much to handle.
I mean, it came out Saturday after months of sitting next to each other, working together, that like you weren't following.
Oh no! See, Oh, I get now. I get why you said you had a bone, but it was a misunderstanding. You see.
Here he comes with these
let's
insane, outlandish
Thank you.
conspiracy theories.
Thank you, GC.
Wait, for those out there, what you're referring to, I believe, is that it appeared
yes.
it appeared as if I had only followed Connor GC, this wonderful man sitting to my right, on Saturday.
Could we get a split screen, or is it too hard to do that? No, just wanted to see both.
Connor, why don't you slide in over here?
I just want to know if he's believing this story.
No,
okay.
Well, I mean, not to, let people in, but maybe maybe we've discussed it. Maybe we haven't. Maybe
No, I would hope you didn't discuss it. It's better to discuss it fresh and live on the show.
These are the first words I've said to him the entire.
Oh, here we go. Yeah.
there we go.
This is good. Way to go, Yoon.
There wasn't anything to discuss because, as I'll lay out the case here, it's very understandable what kind of happened.
I wish I had popcorn right now.
It appeared as if I only followed Connor on Saturday. Now, when in actuality, what really happened, if you're somebody who uses Twitter a lot, like myself, my job is in social media, you'll know that every once in a while there's a bit of a purge. People who you've previously followed get unfollowed. It happens. It's very rare, but it happens. You might not notice until you look at somebody's profile or say, hey, why haven't I seen this person's tweet in a while? I have followed Connor previously, but on Saturday, I was looking for Connor's picks, the best picks in the business, the ones you want to look for. And I saw, hey, wait a minute. I've unfollowed Connor. I can't believe this. I must rectify the situation immediately. So that's what I did. I pressed follow. Unbeknownst to me, Connor would also be under the impression that I hadn't been following him previously, at which point he aired.
Did you get a notification? Like, how did you find out?
Yeah, I went to my notifications and it said at New York Rick had started following me. Yeah, I mean it was a slap.
How did you feel? How did you feel?
I mean, do you hear these conspiracy theories?
He's just talking in circles.
I don't even know what he's talking about.
I think
Ariel has never, unfollowed me.
No.
Mysterious Frank,
never heard of this purge. What is this purge that he's talking about?
These unfollow bugs. I don't know. I don't know who uses these.
I mean, here's the God's honest truth.
Now wait,
this is all we wanted the entire time.
Yeah. So what? The last 10 minutes?
It's an addition to it. It's an addendum. You can choose to believe me or not. Truth be told, that follow from me is significant. It means something. And I appreciate that your feelings were hurt by me not following you. Don't worry, I'm a day one. I've been following. From that first tweet I sent Connor saying great job. I love this betting segment. Even before we were sitting shoulder to shoulder. Big fan of Connor.
Is this accurate?
Wouldn't have a bad word to say about him. Followed him then. Again, Twitter.
Right, the unfollow button.
It's a glitch that happens.
So do you remember, Connor, the first time he followed you? Like,
No.
you don't even remember? Wow, okay.
I think I'd remember that too.
Yeah, that's
He's
the
got the
thing.
check mark. It stands out a little bit.
It stands out.
Hey, you know what?
I want to believe what he's saying right now. I really do.
I'll have my character assassinated because I love Connor that much.
Listen,
He's that much of my friend.
He comes on the air saying all this. He seems like a great guy. But behind the scenes, I'm going to break down.
Yeah.
I'm going to break down the fourth wall here.
Oh, this is great.
Alex goes, the famous snack place. He brings back 2 teas, 1 green, 1 jasmine.
Yeah.
Gives me the green as I requested. He gives Rick the jasmine. And just with no asking, no nothing, Rick swipes the green and gives me the jasmine. That's,
What? He's a real life heel.
He's succumbed to bullying at this point. I mean, this is
He's a real heel.
It's workplace, bullying.
ESPN.
There's this glitch with the teas, right?
This guy.
The
There's
purge.
We live in the Matrix
There's this
now.
bug with the teas where no, that one was just a little bit of hope you don't miss it. I really want this.
It was this third green tea of the day. How much green tea can one guy drink?
I am drinking a lot of green tea back here. I've taken quite a few bathroom breaks. But to get serious for a second, no.
Okay.
Only love for Connor.
I don't know if I believe that. I'm being honest.
You don't have to. I'll be honest. I
do
don't
believe
care.
it, Connor.
I don't care either
All
way.
right. I'm going to take the higher road and believe him here. I'm not going to stoop down to his conspiracy theory level because he did follow me back on Instagram,
Right away.
Followed you back. Oh, right away? I thought you meant on Saturday, too.
No. See,
I don't think we'd be in
Instagram
the
doesn't
same
have
room
that
right now
bug.
if that happened.
Instagram doesn't have that bug. It's a known bug. You can look it up. Look, if you look it up and find out that I'm telling the truth, good on you.
How can I find
If
out
you
that you're
don't-
telling the truth?
If
I'm
you
going to
don't-
Google, did New York Rick unfollow?
No, you can look up that this is a known issue, or you can not.
And what is it? What is the issue?
I don't
They
think
just-
the question is if he unfollowed.
I'll tell you.
I don't think he ever did.
I'll tell you. Well,
Oh, okay. Now that's a fascinating thing. So I was going to ask you if you think you can recall an issue that led to the unfollow. You just don't think he ever bothered to follow you to begin with.
well, isn't that the whole thing?
No, I thought maybe that you unfollowed him out of spite.
Oh, if that was the real case.
No,
then
come on.
I think that would hurt
That,
more.
that's
honestly.
silly. That's
What?
probably
What?
more
Like-
Maybe you were, I don't know, you were starting to feel like, you didn't like him, you didn't like his
No.
work on the show.
Listen, again, I'll say it again. Believe me, don't believe me. Doesn't change my day. It's still Monday
he doesn't
afternoon.
even care. He
I'm
doesn't
still
even
here. I don't care. Believe me or
never
not.
even bothered
Mr.
to
Monday
follow.
afternoon is here. I'll tell you. So you asked about the actual breakdown of it. I'll tell you.
Yeah.
I'm sure this is enthralling for the listeners. The
I'm loving
reason
it.
I know about this is because, as I was saying, my job, my living is made on social media. What will happen a lot of the time at my previous job, and sometimes I'll notice it at this job as well, we follow a lot of fighters. Yes? Like that's kind of what we do. Every once in a while, there's somebody who we know we're following for years at that point. And every once in a while, we notice, oh, they've been unfollowed and refollow. So I've seen this in action quite a few times. It happens. And that's how I know. So one of the things I was thinking was like, oh, I want to look up Connor's picks this Saturday morning. I forget when it was. I was like, hey, I haven't seen his tweets on my timeline in quite a while. Looked at it, noticed he was unfollowed and followed him right back. So that's the situation. Believe or don't believe, either way, I will ride for Connor until the wheels
Okay.
fall off. He's my guy.
This is good.
I'm reading an article right now. Losing followers, Twitter hit by unfollow bug.
It happens.
Wow. It's a real thing.
My question is, who's going to stab who in the back first? Will it be
Nah.
Till stabbing Hamza stabbing Till, or is it going to be...
Wait, so
New York
first of
Rick?
all, who's Hamza? Oh, you're saying between the pair? Between
Yeah,
the
yeah.
pairs?
Or is it you?
I think we'll outlast Hamzat and Darren, if I had to guess.
I wonder who's going to stab who. Someone's going to stab someone in the back in that pairing. But is it going to be Hamza securing his place as the ultimate heel,
gonna be
stabbing the... Till's going to stab Hamza, and Hamzat's going to be the babyface.
Yeah, because Hamzat doesn't need
Wow.
Till in this scenario, right? Hamzat's just going to keep climbing. It only gets spicy because Till is going to need at some point to stab Hamzat to kind of get that rub and make that happen. The same way, look, Jorge was the bigger star, right? Jorge didn't
Right.
need Colby Covington. He could just keep going. At a certain point, it behooved Colby Covington to make that turn on Jorge when Jorge became the biggest fight for him. It will be Till, if anybody. I'm not trying to cast aspersions on Darren Till.
Sure.
But look, I mean, I love this 2-box. We could just keep
This is
going.
I like
Just
this.
Do this for
We
forever.
could combine the segments. Do like a remix. By the way, final word on this from Lewis, our good friend Lewis Gilmore. No revision. New York Rick sticking with the dog ate my followers line. I mean, unbelievable.
But again, to Lewis and all the other jabrones out there, all the other uninformed
Wow.
peons, believe or don't believe or don't believe, it really doesn't matter to the Monday Afternoon Messiah. It really doesn't. You don't matter.
Update.
To
I think
steal
the
a
people-
line from
Yeah, I think
from,
we figured it out.
Yeah, the people.
We figured it out.
Anybody that refers to themselves as the Monday Afternoon Messiah.
I mean,
I
Probably never
might
called me
turn.
in the first
I might turn today. It might not even take that long. I might
Listen,
turn today.
on Saturday, I thought the biggest news story in terms of like Twitter and this crazy sport was Connor finally acknowledging Jake Paul on Twitter, and then by Saturday night, the biggest story was this.
Sure
You
enough,
not
yeah.
following. You not following, unfollowing, still not quite sure, but
So,
You know what?
tried to slide it by.
Pick
Tried-
one. No, see, if I tried to slide it by, see, this is the thing. This is where all of it falls apart, and you guys are not thinking at the level that you need to be thinking. If I was concerned about that, why would I follow? I would just stay unfollowed.
you can't do
I would
that.
I would not alert I would not alert somebody if I was trying to avoid detection, obviously. So you guys are down here playing checkers. You guys are down here.
You just gotta.
I'm up here.
You gotta
This is-
follow and
this is
just
where
hope
I'm
for the
at.
best. You gotta
Nah,
refollow and hope for the best.
Maybe
he
you.
snuck it in.
Maybe
He snuck
you.
it in. He
Snuck it in.
plugged
Saturday,
Yep.
fights going on,
Yeah,
too
it's
much
gonna be the
action, a
biggest
lot
day
of
on
tweets.
Twitter.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
This shows the levels to the game.
I mean, he knew exactly what he was doing. Now that I think about it.
Yeah,
I 100% believe that it happened. I'm just wondering if it's did he not follow at all initially, or was there a following, unfollowing, refollow? That's the part I can't quite.
The world may never know.
again, pick one. Decide for yourself. Choose it. Live your.
Haven't
live your
figured it out
truth.
yet.
Live your reality. Neither of those two incorrect outcomes matters much.
We proceed with caution around Mr. Monday.
Right. Yeah. The Messiah.
Control rooms
The
are
Monday
much
afternoon
less,
Messiah has laid
Control
it all
rooms
out.
are a
for you.
little bit, we trust people more on Wednesdays.
Considerably different vibe, right?
I mean,
You don't
Let your hair down.
get
we don't
this.
even want it.
You don't get this on Wednesdays.
No.
We need to make sure his card doesn't work on Wednesdays.
Right. Like that video, the dude from the
The
Jets.
Jets, yeah, showing up. Great.
Who's that
great
guy?
man.
I forget.
All Adams.
Is it Jamal Adams?
I think it is. Yeah.
When the card doesn't work?
Fantastic.
Well, I'm glad we sort of cleared this up. I don't know if we've actually cleared up anything, but I'm glad that we at least addressed it. There was something on my mind. I was like, I'm forgetting to mention something. And then, thank God, I remembered at the last second. So,
Would have been sunk without it.
yeah. All right, gents. This has been. I mean, this is nice. I just want to like revel in this two-shot. Just a nice thing right here.
We did this two-shot for the
I know.
award show.
Yeah, I know.
Nothing new.
I know, but it's been like 3 months since then.
Yeah. You got rid of the strand on the computer.
Got rid of the
The
strand.
listeners are
Yeah.
happy.
Yeah. Could we get a shot of the computer here? I cut it and I added the flag of Ukraine, Slava Ukraine, to everyone out there. All right. Thank you very much, guys. Much love. Appreciate you. And thank you to all the fans. Thank you to everyone who tuned in. But it's time to go. I've had enough of all of you. It's only 3:51. It's super early. I think Frank's going to wait for me to say, you can hear my music, because last time there was this whole awkward thing like, did you want it to end? Did you not want it to end? Yes, I want it to end.
Frank, you can have my name.
Oh, yes. Frank, you can hear my music. There it is. Ole mana mana. Another fun day, another fun show in the books, my friends. Of course, back on Wednesday, same time and place. Another fun show then, planned for all of you. The final stop before we go to London. Of course, I won't be going, but you know what I'm talking about. Not, in a literal sense, in a figurative sense. London calling, na 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 na. I don't really know the words to that song other than London Calling. But it's going to be a scene. It's going to be an absolute scene, my friends. Saturday at the O2. Congratulations to all the big winners from this past week. Since we last spoke, a ton of fights, like I said, Invicta and PFL, and that one card was great. Didn't talk a ton about Bellator, but I gotta say, that main event, if you missed it, Mads Burnell and Adam Borix, that was a great main event as well. St. Louis, great card. Phil Davis with the victory. So there was a lot to like. And again, if you're not doing anything tonight, if you're looking for something to do, to just put your feet up and watch that Michael Conlon fight against Lee Wood. Fantastic stuff. Thank you very much to all the guests today. Appreciate you all very much. Dan Hooker, Khalil Roundtree, Marlon Vera, Cody Law. Love you guys. Thanks for stopping by. Get well soon. Paige Van Zandt. Thank you to the crew as well. Back on Wednesday, same time and place. Until then, I say peace. I'm out.
Weighing in out of the blue corner, Josh the Pong Thompson. 100%. And on the other mic, he weighs in from the red corner, Big John McCarthy.
All right, let's take off because it's time for the Weighing In podcast. Josh Thompson and myself here to talk about a plethora of fights. We had the Eagle FC. Cheers. We had one championship. We had Bellator. We had the UFC. We got a ton to talk about. I need a throat lozenge. Let's go.
There was so much yelling, so much fun, so much gambling this weekend.
Ooh.
And John, you guys can. I feel like I should take my 10% right off the top.
Because
you guys all were like,
you are one of the
gamble,
worst
we're gonna
players when it comes to blackjack I've ever sat. I am sitting there telling you, you
John,
better
did I
not.
win?
You hit that. I swear to God, we're gonna.
And how many times did I
here.
win when I did that? Like almost every time. Almost every time I hit it, and almost every time I won. There was like one or two times out of the 2 hours we sat there and played. By
you
the
had
way.
one. I'll give you one that you should not have hit that you won on. That's the one.
Did we have a good time though?
We had a blast.
I gotta tell you, man, it was so much fun. We got a table of everybody together, and it was awesome. Nordy had no idea what the hell he was doing, so he's like, "Josh, do I hit here? Hey, John, do I hit here?"
Did, man.
He's like, "What do you mean split them? What do you mean by
Man,
double down? What's double
why am I
down
putting
mean?"
more money out?
I was like, "Give him more money." He's like, "Oh, what? Okay." He just didn't know what
He
he was
walked
doing.
away happy.
Yeah, he did. I think he came up like 300 or 400, 300, I think, and then I came away with 500, and then Amanda came away with 450 or something.
Oh man,
which then
where
got donated to.
on fire. She had donated to my wife's animal rehab thing, Fred's Friends, so that they got some money. That was incredibly kind of her. She didn't have to do that.
What is it called? Say it again. Fred's Friends.
Fred's Friends. Look, we had the thing that started my wife
a tongue
off on
twister.
her animal rehab thing was a baby possum we found. It was Fred.
That's right. I
And
remember
then Fred ended up dying. He got a disease, then he ended up dying, and so that's what she named her.
You have to explain the disease because I don't want my animals or my pets going to your rehab if they're dying. Okay, so you have to explain what he died of. Okay.
No, it was something that he had. You get these different views from animal rehabbers. Don't give them dewormer stuff. Yes, give them dewormer stuff. Well, she listened to one, and he had what was called lungworms, and eventually those take away their ability to breathe. And like possums don't live that long, anyways, but they live about a year. Yeah. But yeah, he died.
They
so
only
that
live a
was-
year?
in the wild, about a year, about 3, sometimes in captivity.
Shut up.
Oh
Really?
yeah. Oh yeah. They don't last
I never
long
would
at
have
all.
thought that. I would have
They
thought like
don't-
at least 10, 15 years,
No,
like a dog
they
or
don't
a
last
cat.
long at all, man.
Because
They are here and gone quick, and you can watch them age too. It's like they look a certain thing, and about 1 week they go from 25 to 75. It's crazy.
Wow.
But, yeah.
That like from the time I met you to the time now.
Oh
same
yeah,
shit.
see, I'm a possum.
Yes. No, the craziest thing is I think the first time I ever saw I've never seen a possum eat, and Miss McCarthy was laying down the worms. Right, she had like the long worms there, and he was just going. Fred was just going to town.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
But like the worms moving around, and he's got his claws, and he's like feeding it into his mouth. He's like, yeah.
Dude, it's
I mean,
like
it
a
was
big piece of
watching-
licorice to him, man.
Yeah, it was like watching Podcast Dave eat. So it was just, it's like, holy shit. Well, hey, go to WayneInPodcast.com. Pick up some of our merch there, you guys. Got a bunch of new stuff up there. And Podcast Dave, we've had a lot of requests, like not just in the comment section because I read that, but it's from people in this weekend. They're like, hey, when's the Hindsight 50/50 shirt coming out? I was like, oh, I don't know if we're going to make it. They're like, dude, cannot wait to buy that if you guys make it. And then we're going to start calling them Joshisms because I think it was, it was Fish, man. Fish, they're going to start calling them all Joshisms.
That's it.
Because I had another really lame one this weekend. What was it? A bird. It was a bird in a hand and two.
A bird in the
bears or
hand is
some
better
shit.
than 2 rocks in the bush or something.
Something
like
like
that.
some rocks in a bush. I
What
was
the
like,
fuck
what?
did you just say?
Everyone's like, what the hell did you just say? Oh, this
All
is great.
I'll
There
put
it
this
is.
out as a limited edition. So
Yeah.
I'll put it out. So midweek show, we'll announce it, and then we'll have it out for a limited time. So just be
Are you
going
gonna
to
show it?
Jump
Are you
on
gonna
it.
show this picture, by the way, on the podcast so they know what we're talking about?
Yes, I will show it. Josh.
Like the fighters, you got to show the fighters so they know what we're talking about. You guys, when he doesn't post the pictures of the fighters, you
That's
guys
what
make
you
sure
should put in the
you hit
comments.
hit the comments. No,
It's
they
like
have.
Podcast Dave falling behind.
Dave gets.
Yeah,
Dave's like,
if you-
what do you mean you're gonna listen to like one person? I'm like, no, Dave, I just don't have the time to screenshot all 50 of them.
No worries, guys. Just
No
make
worries,
sure when
guys.
you write in the comments that you just remind Josh and John that you want the show out on Sunday early and not on like Wednesday
Wow,
when it's supposed to
look
be a Sunday
at Dave.
show. Remind them of that.
Feeling a
Actually,
little
is.
bit froggy.
Yeah, he is. He is. He must have been drinking at lunch today because it hasn't worn off. And obviously, the way he laughed, it's
You
true.
know it's true.
It's true.
Homeboy's
Oh.
been slamming it
John
back.
and I had a
Well-
little conversation before we got on air. So
Well, just so we can touch on. I gave my New Year's resolution. It's gone, guys. As
Oh,
you guys can
dude,
tell.
hold
This
it.
weekend was a whole different
it's,
story.
It's not gone. It's
It-
destroyed.
Oh, we had a great time.
The
though.
best
It
part
was
is I'm gonna
awesome.
get the blame because we were like, "Oh man, don't take Josh off his next." Dude, I don't have to take Josh off. He'll fall off on his own, man. What are you talking about?
I was doing just fine, but John just wouldn't let up, man. He kept going, you want this? You want this? Huh? Try this whiskey. Try this whiskey. I'm
Ooh,
gonna get
look
this
at
one.
this one.
Yeah. All right. Well, hey, let's get into some fights, man. We had a
Let's
great
go.
weekend. John and I have been having fun. Amanda did a great job at the desk, and Morrow is just a stud as always, you know. And the team did a great job. But John and I will
Welcome to
give our
Rivendell.
critique on the Bellator fights. But first, let's talk about what other fights. Let's go Eagle FC,
go
I think,
Eagle.
and one first. We'll talk those two first. What do you think, Eagle FC?
Look, you know, I'm gonna go to exactly what we talked about. What we said is when that
John,
fight was.
wait, were we correct, John? Were we,
Yeah.
were we
I think
correct?
were.
That's all I want to
Yeah.
know.
I just, well, from what I was told, there were people in the comments saying that we were crazy, that Kevin Lee was going to destroy. How could you even say that? And like, I understand their opinions. And when the fight was first made, I was like, I don't like it.
Yeah.
I think Kevin's too fast for him. You know,
We
not
were
a
both
good,
the same way.
not a good fight. Then as I thought about it, I go, look, Diego is an odd style. He's difficult to hit. He's just tough as fucking nails. He is just a tough son of a bitch. And Kevin tends to slow down. You know what? It'll be a competitive fight. You know, I still think Kevin's, you know, the favorite, no doubt about it. But look, Diego's got a chance. And Diego put up a good fight. You know, Kevin won, no doubt about it. But Diego showed why he is the fucking guy that, you know, won the first Ultimate Fighter, has been there for so long, is never an easy out for anyone. He's just a fucking junkyard dog that just hangs in there, tough as hell. There's never any quit in him. And yeah, he got the loss. Kevin gets the win. Good for Kevin. But you can't say that, oh, you know, he just ran him over. No, he didn't just run him over. He had his moments where he did well. And I was really impressed with him on the ground, the control that he had, because Diego's good on the ground. And Kevin was able to land some good shots there. But it was a competitive fight. Wasn't super exciting, but it was competitive.
Well, all right, ladies and gentlemen, let's go to mybookie.ag. Mybookie.ag for your betting odds. You guys can bet on everything. You got baseball, football, basketball, all of these
Baseball's
things are happening
back.
right now.
Baseball's back.
March Madness is coming up, and like you said, baseball is back. The owners and the Players Association finally came to agreements on how many millions and millions of dollars they're going to pay each other.
Okay.
This is great. But we go to mybookie.ag, use that promo code weighing in, and John and I will give you guys our advice on the fights, pretty much not on anything else, but in some boxing, some MMA, whether it's UFC, Bellator, whatever odds that you can find on mybookie.ag for boxing, for everything, for combat sports. John and I will give you a little bit of that knowledge, hopefully win you guys some money. But use that QR code right there, that one right there, the one that Podcast Dave is going to put up. And when he puts that up right there, you click on that, use our promo code weighing in. They're going to give you a little extra spending cash, okay, for your first initial deposit. Make sure you guys remember that. Your first initial deposit, if you use that QR code and our promo code weighing in at mybookie.ag.
As you prepare your pitch for the battle against the seasons.
Yeah, I think Khabib, he had put out a tweet, and it said, you know, at 40 years old, you know, Diego still making it difficult for some of the top-level talent. And it's absolutely true. I mean, like, no matter how you guys want to look at Diego, with his personal life, his fighting style, whatever it is, he takes a lot of damage. He's always taking a lot of damage. Not early in his career, he didn't take a lot of damage, but like as he got older, he started taking more damage. Just more of a reckless style of fighting. But he was always super fun to watch fight, and always extremely talented. There was a threat everywhere, whether it was on the feet or on the ground. But then it just got into this, like, okay, let's just brawl. He became more of a crowd favorite, and then he fed into that, and that's what led into it towards the end of his career. That's all he was doing. From the Gilbert Melendez fight to a bunch of other fights I could get into. But the Gilbert Melendez one is one of the ones that comes to mind distinctly.
Incredible fight.
Yeah, it was in Houston. I was calling that fight cage side. I was not at the. I wasn't cage. I was like right there on the inside of the cage. And they were having me call the fight and my reactions to it, the UFC was at the time. And I was like, wow, this is just insane. Just absolutely insane. But when we were talking about this fight being put together, you and I said the same thing. When they first matched, I'm like, what are they doing?
Yeah.
I'm like, it's not for Diego, man. I'm like, Kevin Lee he's more powerful. He's stronger. He's younger. He's faster. I mean, like, he's longer. He's got all the attributes. And look, and I've always said, I'm a huge Kevin Lee fan. I just wish he could get out of his own way. I don't know whether it's mental, which I believe it is, or it's just something in his body that he just can't seem to get the relaxation to dip into that cardio. Because as the fight goes on, it doesn't matter who he's fighting. He slows down dramatically, And so as we got closer to the fight, John, this week, when we talked about it last week, it was like, you know what? Diego's got a chance. He's got a chance in terms of, like you said, he's awkward.
Yep.
And I thought Diego was going to wrestle more in the beginning, but he didn't. He kept it on the feet, kind of kept it, but then, I don't know if it was a kick that made it happen, but something happened to Kevin Lee's knee throughout in the fight, and that was the change of the tide. And I thought for sure that Diego was going to keep going to the kick. He didn't go to it as much as he should have went to it. But it actually, I know, he should have went to it a little bit more.
He tried staying.
Yeah, he tried. But Kevin was doing a good job of moving it out of the way, kind of lifting it, kind of turning it, switching stances. And so I thought Kevin showed a more mature fight style. But when we talked about the fight, it really came down to Diego Sanchez did exactly what we thought he was going to do. And he was going to go out there, put on a show, put on a fight, and it was going to be a tough fight for Kevin Lee. Despite the knee, even if the knee wasn't hurt, it still would have been a hard fight for Kevin Lee. Because in all those scrambles and all the stand-up and all the exchanges, you got to chase after him. You've got to walk after him. You've got to because he moves so much. Diego's going to be land, move, land, move. And that gives fits to everyone. If you're not used to fighting that style, you're like, gosh, man, stop moving. You're chasing him.
Every time you want to set
punches.
your feet, he's moving, and you've got to pick up your feet, move them now.
And when you miss punches, it takes your cardio out of you, John. You know that. Yeah. So, I mean, it wasn't a barn burner of a fight, but there was a little bit of drama in there because of the knee with Kevin Lee. And Diego Diego doing what Diego does, making it a dog fight. And so I think overall, I mean, we got what we thought we were going to get. Yeah. And we thought the person that was going to win was going to be the one that won. And Diego put a fight up that we thought he would put up. And everyone that was telling us, you guys are so stupid, you guys are dumb, like, you guys don't know what the fuck you're talking about. I was like, what do you guys forget about Diego's life, his career? Yeah. Like, he's made a ton of people look bad, like they didn't belong in there. And Kevin, coming off the losses he's been coming off of, did you think he would be any different? And so that's what I was surprised. You listen to everyone say, like, Diego's got no chance to get knocked out first round. He's going to get, whatever. And I'm like, no. I mean, it's been a long time since Diego's been finished, I think, in the first round.
Oh, yeah.
So he's just one of those guys. He's a stud. He's always going to be a stud. Yeah. So I didn't get to see, I couldn't find it, was the Ray Bork and Ricky Bandejas fight. You said you got to watch it.
Yeah, I watched it.
I really wanted to watch that fight because I really love Ricky. And I love Ray Borg as well because, when there was a lot of that support going around for his son. And so I remember I bought a bunch of shirts, from him and just kind of distributed them out to family and friends. But, I wanted to see that fight. I didn't get to see it. I heard there's a little bit of controversy. John, talk me through it.
It was a close fight. In watching it, I had it scored for Bandejas. I thought he won the fight. But, when you have a close fight like this, it can go the opposite way. And it depends on what angle the judge is seeing things at and stuff. I thought Bandejas used his length really well at times. At times he didn't. And Borg was able to get into him and had his little rushes and stuff. But it's a close fight. You know, when you have a fight like this and it's a split decision, if you're Ray Borg and you win it, you go, I lucked out. If you're Ricky Bandejas and you lose it, you got to go, I can't complain because I left things out there that I should have done to make a difference, so there was never a doubt. And you got to learn from those things. But you know, both of them are great family guys. Both of them are just stellar individuals. You know, I'm glad to see Ray win because you know his whole thing with his family and why he's fighting and stuff. It's tough to see Ricky lose because he's lost a couple now that you go, man, we're talking it was, you know, this, or it could have, you know, definitely gone your way, and that can make a difference in his career and stuff. So, but it was a good fight, competitive fight, you know, a lot better than the Eagle Heavyweight Championship fight that went on between Anthony Hamilton and Kudaev. That one was like, okay, it's over. There was a quick guillotine choke into it and stuff, but it was a good competitive match. It was actually one of the better matches on the card that I was able to watch, so I enjoyed it.
What other fights on here? Did you see any other ones, John?
Yeah, I saw Impa. That was another split decision, and I had it going for Magomed Delayev. It was, again, you're just not in those moments where you need to step on the gas and really go after him to try to prove that, hey, I'm the guy that's, you know, I'm the one that's leading this. Wasn't there. So I understand why he lost that one. And but there was a couple in there that were, you know, interesting. You know, Noshan Burrell had a decision loss. You know, definitely he lost it and stuff. But, you know, he went to 3 rounds. I was kind of surprised that he made it through the 3 rounds. Archie Colgan, who actually fought in Bellator in, I want to say Sioux Falls, actually got himself out of a buggy choke, which I was very impressed when he slammed his way out of a buggy choke. He got a win against Dylan Mantello. And look, Mantello's good, young, strong fighter. You know, he's out of Ray Longo's, you know, the Law MMA. Put on a good fight, but Archie just tough as nails, good wrestler. I enjoy watching Archie. I'm upset with Bellator that they let him get away and go to Eagle. So, but it was a nice win for him.
We found that with a couple of fighters. I don't know what the deal is. I think, John, you and I have a little bit of that frustration sometimes. Like, why is this person like Joaquin Buckley?
Yeah,
he lost to Logan Storley, and it was like, okay,
I got rid of him.
You know, like
Good fighter.
explosive. He's good. You know, he's smaller for the 85-pound weight class, but he's too big for 70, so he struggles to make the 70, right? But he's explosive, got power, and he brings the fight and the action. That's what you want. So, you guys, when you guys talk about
Please, put an end to our tragedy.
Because I see something like, oh well, so and so, why'd they cut him? Why they? I'm like, look, we don't make those decisions. Look, we're just there to call the fights. We're there to talk about the fighters we have, and we love the fighters that we have. But we wish there were some fighters on our roster that we would have kept, not just the ones that have gone to Eagle, not just the ones that have gone to
And there's
One
some fighters I'd like to see him
PFL.
get rid of.
Yeah. Yes. There's also some fighters that I'd like to see that I know had interest in coming that we just didn't get contracts done, but they went to other organizations, and I'm like, damn. So there's a little bit going on, but we've signed a lot of great talent as well that we love. So I love calling a lot of these guys. You want to get into
One FC.
One FC?
Got to go to One. Now I only watched 2 of the fights, so
Yep,
that's
I'm the
all.
same way.
Okay, I watched Gary and Tronley.
Stanley.
Yeah, man, this is one of those ones you look and I was impressed with Gary in the beginning as far as he looked like he was comfortable with his stand up. Looked like he was okay. He knows where he wants to take the fight. He knows he wants to bring it to the ground, and he kind of jumps to his back, almost jump guard, but jump towards the leg lock. And you look and you go, man, leg locks especially when a fighter is fresh and stuff. Yes, it's better when he's not wet and sweaty for your chance to make it actually stick. But you've got to control his lower half. You cannot just control one leg. You control one leg in MMA, you're taking a huge risk of someone being able to pound a fucking hole in your head. And that's what happened here with Sean Lee. He just kept on turning the position because there was one leg entwined, and you saw Gary almost getting the heel hook. Doesn't, slips through, gets hit. Goes after it again, gets hit, slips out, and as soon as it slipped out the one time, one big shot, he's done. Another big shot, put away. And this is where, you it's the leg locks. You will live with them and you will die with them. There's times you're going to get big wins. There's times someone's going to pound a hole in your head. And that's what happened in this one with Gary.
Yeah, I think this is what I think. I think that Gary should have worked more for getting the fight to the ground, using that that position that he had to sweep and get on top. Instead, he kept chasing the ankle. And when someone's fresh like they fight harder to get out.
Sure.
And they start throwing punches as well as trying to escape. And that's exactly what Lee was doing. He was throwing 2 big combinations of 1-2 hard punches and then trying to clear the feet off the hips, pushing the feet down. He was doing everything properly when it came to defending it.
Yep.
And I think a little bit of that has to do with some of the credit you're going to give to Ryan Hall. Ryan Hall's been working with him on the leg lock situation.
Oh, and I know there's people pissed off at Ryan Hall for doing that. And it's like, grow the fuck up.
Yeah.
Hey, this is a sport. And people are going to work with other people in this sport. It happens all the fucking time. That's what
I think some of the people that are mad at him though just don't like Ryan Hall. Okay. That's why.
Well, okay.
So they don't like him because
Hold on.
there's a bunch of reasons why.
I'll take that back. No, just kidding.
Yeah. I mean, like some of those people that have been posting, I won't. You guys just follow online. You guys can follow online. Look, Gary made a
mistake.
An error, not realizing that the shots were going to be a little bit harder because your head has nowhere to go. It doesn't bounce off the canvas. It just stops.
Yeah.
So those shots, unless he did a couple great things, he hit the leg, sat back on the heel hook, couldn't get it. Lee was pushing down on the knees. Then what he does, he put his foot in between the legs and bumped him forward. Was able to get a better transition on the ankle. Couldn't get it tight enough. And was still taking shots. And every time he took a shot, the lock got a little bit looser. The legs got a little bit looser around the knees. And so as they kept fighting, he should have focused more on getting the sweep and getting into the top position. Now, I'm not going to sit here and tell him how he needs to finish leg locks because that is not my deal.
No.
That's his. But when it comes to the fighting aspect of it all, I've always said this. You guys can go back over the years. It's sweep, submit, get up, or submit, sweep, get up. You've got to work for your submission. If it's not working, sweep them and then get to the top position, or get all the way out and start back over. I have to touch back on what you said, though, John. You said exactly. He looked phenomenal on the feet. I'm not saying he should have stood and made a stand-up war, but he looked pretty damn good.
He looked at least comfortable. And he looked like, I'm okay here, and I can stand here. And I was impressed. You go to Gary's first fight, and you just stand up and you go, yeah, we got a long way to go there. And that's okay, but and that's not saying anything bad. But you can tell the work that he's put in and the progression that he's made, because he actually looked. I was like, he looks good there. He looks comfortable. He doesn't look stiff. He doesn't look like, oh man, he's just in that nervous energy. He looked like, all right, we're good. And it's that whole thing of let me get this guy out of here. Yes, I love that attitude. I do. But you got to be smart about when you've got a guy and he's fresh. He's got a full tank of gas. He's going to have a lot of power, a lot of energy, a lot of ability to blast through things and make it to where he can hang on. And when you are attacking with the ability, I love the Danaher attacks when they take both legs and they control the lower half of the body. Now he can't come up that way. Now he doesn't have the ability to deliver power with the hammer fist, because Josh, we've done tests with hammer fists are incredibly powerful. If people think that it's just it's like a kid's thing, no, fucking hammer fists are one of the most powerful blows. In fact, a lot of people will hit harder with a hammer fist than they will with that straight punch. It just generates a ton of torque. We did it with pads that measured the difference, and it was like, it opened my eyes to how they were as powerful as open elbows, full attack. A lot of times, more torque, more power on the hammer fist. So when you're getting hit by that hammer fist, it only takes one well-placed one to put you out. That's basically what happened.
Yeah, the only downfall on the hammer fist is there's definitely more ways to break your hand.
Yes, because it's sideways. Yep,
that's because it's sideways. So that's the only downfall on him. But I mean, look, Gary's going to learn from this. I think he's going to continue to get better on the feet.
Oh, I think
he
so
looked
too.
good. I thought he looked relaxed. I thought he rushed too much on the legs. But just understanding that, hey, I can't be hanging out down there. Yeah. I mean, you guys go back in the history of MMA. I mean, the number one fight comes to my mind on someone hanging onto an ankle lock would be Frank Mir and Ian Freeman.
Oh yeah.
That fight comes to mind, and it's just like you got to let it go. And either get to the top or kick them away and get back up to your feet and just start over. Because it's not just the punches, John. It's also in those leg lock positions. Yeah, but in that leg lock position, though, my ankle could be taken as well at any time. And ankle locks are something that just happens. It happens very quick. So you think you're good, and all of a sudden you're tapping. You're going, oh shit, I was good. Then you didn't. You're so worried about the attack that you forget that your legs are vulnerable too in a lot of those positions. Yeah. I don't think Lee was going to be working for submissions against Gary in that situation, but in that situation, the punches were definitely coming. So, also, we had a great fight, an absolute great fight with Bibiano and Lineker. It lived up to the hype. It lived up to the expectations, all the delays, everything. It was a great fight.
Dude, I told you, hey, have you seen it? You go, no. I go, 2.5 minutes, standby bombs are leashed. And it was, dude, they were whapping each other. I love Bibiano. And man, he's been a hell of a fighter, just a hell of a representative and a great champion for one, for a long time. And he just was in that position where you could see the shots when they were hitting him at times. He was just getting degraded. Each one that landed, you could see a little bit less of him, a little bit less. And it was just, Lineker's a stud, man. He's got power, and he will stand in the pocket, and he will throw. And it got to that point at a certain, and they started that second round, and you could see Lineker was like, I will eat one to trade every time because I'm going to win this battle. And he was right. He won that battle. And, the one that put Bibiano out, you look and you go, great shot. But Bibiano was fighting his ass off. I thought he hurt him in the first round. And he gets to the top position. I was like, oh, look at this. Because I honestly thought Lineker was going to win. And then when Bibiano put him down, I was like, oh man. And but really fun fight. Two guys really going after it with both of them. And Lineker's a stud, man. He will bite down on that mouthpiece and trade with anyone, and that's kind of why he's fun to watch.
You know what surprised me in that fight, to be honest, was that it was super easy for Bibiano to get the takedown. Yeah. That shocked me. That first takedown happened so
What?
easily.
Yeah.
And then
ran him across the cage.
Yeah. And I was surprised that he was able to, that he was still that explosive. Bibiano, I've seen him fight for years. Called a couple of his fights over and won. He's 41 years old. He still looks like a baby.
Is he
like
41
his face.
now?
I think he's 41. Can you click on Bibiano there, Dave? Yeah, I think he's 41.
You're right.
41 years old.
You're right, man.
March 30th, he'll be 42. You know what I mean? But look at his face. Look at I'm sure that's an old picture, but like, even still, when you see him now, when you see him in this last fight, he still looks young. He's freaking yoked. But he was still explosive enough to get in on the takedown, get in deep enough to just run him over, got in the top position. He had some good stuff. Lineker's just a ball of muscle, was able to get back up. But I mean, it was a shaping up to be a good fight. He did a lot of good things. I would have liked to have seen him chase the takedown a little bit more as he started getting in trouble. He started standing his ground and exchanging.
Yeah, that was not working out well for him.
Yeah, not a lot of guys have really kind of made him want to show them respect. Bibiano's kind of been the top dog over there for the longest time. Yeah. And so not a lot of people are going to make him back up. You know, I thought the kicks were having an effect. He's got good kicks. Remember when we were talking, you're like, oh, yeah, Lineker for sure has got the better stand-up. And I said, yeah, I know he's got the better stand-up in terms of he's got the power. He stays a little bit tighter. He doesn't wing it. Bibiano does the caveman thing, you know, and he's able to land shots. But he's got vicious kicks. I would like to have seen him kick the calf a little bit more because he was having some success with it. But those takedowns, they seem like they came so easy. I don't understand why he wasn't utilizing them more to try and slow Lineker down.
Yeah.
But overall, look, it lived up to the hype. It was the fight that we thought we were going to get.
It was a good
I was leaning more towards Bibiano winning the fight because I thought he'd be able to control the top position more.
Yeah.
And I thought the leg kicks would be a little bit more of a factor. Whereas Lineker's only way of winning was the way he won.
Yeah.
I didn't see Lineker submitting him. I didn't see Lineker taking him down. I didn't see Lineker, you know, I just didn't see that. So, and I said if it went the distance, it was probably because Bibiano was able to take him down and control him. Yeah. So I thought Bibiano was going to win the fight.
Yeah.
But overall, great fight.
It was great. And it's my whole reason for thinking that Lineker was going to win was Bibiano does exactly what you said, the caveman. He starts to lower his head down and swing hard, and it's like not good against a guy like Lineker. But he did have the ability, and when I saw that first takedown, I was like, if he continues to do this, you know, that was easy. We'll see what happens. And then he got drawn into Lineker's fight.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about it. Lineker
He
pulled
looked
him
like
into that brawl.
You said, though, it looked like he got depleted pretty significantly after that first round. In the second round, he started taking some big shots early. And I was like, ooh, he's taking some heavy shots. And then you could see he started to slow down. Like, even his movement when he was circling left and right, it just wasn't as fast. And he wasn't moving out of the way as fast. And you could tell he was starting to get depleted. So.
When he came out of the when he went to his corner after the first round and he sat down, I was looking at him. I go, not looking good for him.
No, you got 4 more rounds.
But again, it was a good fight, man. And congratulations to John Lineker, who goes and he becomes the ONE FC champion there in the featherweight division, right? I think it's featherweight.
Yeah, it's featherweight.
Yeah, it's their version of featherweight. Yeah, but they all walk around about 165. It's insane. Yeah. I didn't watch the rest of the card. I know you just said you didn't either. So those are the 2 fights that we watched. Dave, let's go into Bellator. Okay. You want to go from the main card down? What do you want to talk about?
Let's hit the prelims real quick as far as this thing. So, and the reason why is, as simple as it gets is I got to talk about at least one fight on the prelims.
Two.
Okay.
Cody Law.
Cody Law looked good. God damn, he looked good. Yeah. Cody Law's he called his shot too, man. You know, he called the exact time he finished that fight in the back.
That's nuts. That's a little suspect, but it's
I'll tell you, man. But going into that, I knew I'd watched James fight. James actually had a good submission game, but I'm like, can't get Cody down. His wrestling's just not good enough to get him down, so he's going to have to try to hurt him in the stand-up. And I thought Cody was just much cleaner in his technique in the stand-up, so that wasn't going to be an easy task for him to do. But got to give it, man. Cody Law's looking good. 6-0 now.
John, what I loved about him was the way he, like I said it a couple times on air. I said, like, I liked how he landed the combination. He stepped right, cut the angle, changed the way the punches were coming. The angles of the punches were coming at a different angle. Boom, boom. Nicely done. He hit him with the left hook. Then he stepped to the right. He drugged the left hook over to the left. So he hit him with the left, and as he did that, he was stepping to the right already. And just right, and then he sat his weight down and threw the right hand. I was like, holy shit. That's like that next level type stand up.
And it
that
was also
impressive.
it was also look, he didn't crush the space once. He hit him, he hurt him, you could see it. He hits him and he goes down and he kind of takes a step off to that right as he's getting up. Now he's perfect. Boom, hits him with the left. Boom, he goes down again, gets up. Boom, hits him with the right. You go, oh my God, just dismantling him. And, he gave credit to, Artem Levin, who is now at ATT as a striking coach. But Artem Levin was a fucking beast in Glory. That dude was a stud. So they're learning from a talented guy, man. And he said, he's made a huge difference in my understanding of angles when it comes to the fight. And you go, well, it is obvious it's working because, man, Cody, you look fucking phenomenal. Beautiful. Yeah. It was the way that knockout happened, because it wasn't a one-punch knockout. It was a series of punches that each one just added on top of the other, and it was the precision and the calmness of how he did it. That was impressive at a guy that is still super young in his career.
Yeah, I agree. The other guy that I want to talk about, there's actually another one as well, but the Roman Feraldo.
Oh, yes.
It was Roman Feraldo. You have to give him love. Mr. Call his shots, Babe Ruth. But in this situation, I mean, he obviously possesses power. He's at 2 flying knee knockouts. He's, 7-0 now? 7-0, 7 finishes. 3 KOs and 4 TKOs. Just impressive. This fight here, he dropped the guy with a jab, then followed up with some vicious ground and pound.
And Josh, you got to say, yes, he put him on his butt with the jab. But it's not only that he put him on his butt, he hurt him. Did you see Kelvin Rayford's
arm went
arms?
back behind him.
And you go, oh, man, he can't control his body. That's how hurt he is from that. Feraldo's got power, man. The guy, and he's just a good fucking guy and a stud, explosive. They need to take that guy and, start putting him against people in that freaking division. He's going to make some noise. He's good.
Yeah, I think we got to slow play him a little bit, though. I mean, I know we want to get him up in there, but at 170, if you look at that division, John,
there's some killers.
He's got his hands full. He'd have his hands full. I know he called out MVP because there's, because of the Yaroslav Amosov situation. He's like, hey, Yaroslav's my boy. I'll step in for that fight if I need.
Tell me you wouldn't like to see him against Derek Anderson.
I'd like to see him against Derek Anderson or Sabah Hamasi.
Yeah,
those are the two I'd like to see him against. Him and Sabah Hamasi.
But they're teammates.
Who gives a shit? I'm not trying to be friends right now, are we?
Past that.
You got to let me call this shit out, John. Come on. No, I get it. I mean, I wouldn't want to see. I would like to see them fight beforehand, but I understand if they're in the same team, the same gym, title shots. Here we go. When there are title shots on the line, when the title's on the line,
titles
get after it.
And that's like Rafael Stotts against Sergio Pettis. It's like, let's look. I kind of like that they pulled that one off. And we're going, hey, when it comes to the title, friendships are on the side. This is business. I'll be your friend after we're done. But.
Yeah, because the agreement was when they both got signed, there was like if you won it, because Pettis got signed, then he fought for the title and then won it. It's like if Stotts is going to be around, you guys got to agree. If it's for the title, you guys got to fight. So now it just so happens they're like, hey, we want to make sure there's it's a clear running all the way to the title. So
it was the right thing to do.
Yeah, I think it was. I agree. And the simple fact of the matter is, John, you get it out of the way.
Yeah.
And it creates the buzz of that tournament. It's like the champ's fighting his best friend. His number one training partner. His training partner in the first round. Holy shit.
Yep.
But, Roman Feraldo, good stuff. Nice work. The last fight on the prelims we're going to talk about, which probably should have been on the main card, and I'm gonna touch on this fight, was Alex Polizzi against Gugu.
Yep.
And when that fight happened, I wanted to see that fight get up to the main card. And so the reason why, like, there was
almost
just some juggling. It almost did. Almost made it there. It was a great fight. But I'm going to go in a little hard on the paint here because I'm going to tie this fight to another fight on the UFC card. And, John, are you thinking of the fight that I'm thinking of, or do you know what I'm talking about?
Go, baby, go.
Terrence McKinney
Yes.
and Gugu fight exactly the fucking same way. You guys, I mean, when John and I talk about fight IQ,
Just take the fight IQ and just throw it.
I get about being exciting. I understand, but when you rock somebody the way that both of these guys had their opponents rocked,
Yes.
I was thinking to myself, slow down, choose your shots, get after it, but just keep the range. You know, like, just do those things. And, it wasn't there. John, it wasn't there. I was like, what are you guys doing? I just couldn't believe it. Because look at who you are fighting. Alex Polizzi, a wrestler. Drew Dober, not a great wrestler, but he's got some
gritty
wrestling.
fucking dude who's got
He's
wrestling.
gritty,
and
but he's shorter and stockier. He's gonna ball up. He can just grab you and just kind of, and kind of like ball up
Slow
so
it
you
down.
can't hit clean shots in. And Polizzi's very similar in that way. And so when I saw these fights happening, I'm thinking to myself, the way it was going down. So first with Gugu, because we're talking about Bellator now. He hit him with the flying knee, drops him, smothers everything he's got.
Go-
He is so... Go ahead.
Let's be honest. Josh, he didn't just hit him with that flying knee. I mean,
Surprises.
I am amazed.
Yeah.
And this is, I want people to understand why. Look, when you talk about weapons for a fighter, and you're talking about punches, look at punching. There's guys that got punching power, and here Augusto's got punching power. The guy that beat him in his last fight was Rumble Johnson. Most guys will say, there's guys out there that got a 22 caliber in their hands. Okay, it's not that it can't hurt you, but it doesn't put a big hole in you, and it doesn't.
I got BB guns, bro.
Okay, it's all right. You were a 22 caliber, and that's where you get guys that they're volume fighters, and you'll get a guy that he can swat. You're looking at a guy with a 357. That's Anthony Rumble Johnson. But when you talk about other weapons, and you're talking about kicks and knees, and I tell people all the time, look, a kick, you're talking about you're a 45 caliber. It's heavy. It carries a lot of weight behind it. So when it hits, it just has an impact and a torque that just takes in
It's called more knockdown power, John.
Yes, and it puts you out. And look at knees are short, heavy weapons that absolutely take people and put them unconscious on contact. And it's not like Augusto did not land that knee well. It was perfect. And it hit Polizzi in the middle of the goddamn face and knock his head back. The only thing that kept his head from going into the first row was the attachment that God gave him with his neck.
Spine.
And I was amazed that he wasn't out.
Yeah, I was.
And he
too.
held on, and this is where you're talking about fight IQ with Augusto, because he ends up going to the one place where he can't win the fight because he already proved it in the first round. He's on the ground, and all of a sudden Polizzi's holding on to him, and it's coming back. He goes for the armbar. It was tight. Polizzi works his way out of the armbar, and eventually Polizzi works his way to the top position and is putting it on Augusto, and you go, dude, you are a fucking animal.
Yeah.
You are a savage, because I have not seen many people be able to survive that knee and to come back in this round after what you have taken is amazing.
Yeah. I agree. Everything you just said is ditto. Like, I was baffled watching Gugu chase after him, push him, crush the space so much. He was just basically in his guard or in the mount position or in 3/4 mount. Exactly where Polizzi wanted him to be, because now it's easier for me to get to a wrestling position, hang up on a single leg, maybe get a reversal, get to the top position, which I believe he ended that round in mount.
Oh my God, he did multiple times. He was in mount.
I'm like, what are you doing? Like, he just made a brain fart after brain fart in every situation. I'm like, but he's fun to watch fight. Gugu is. And Polizzi is as well. Polizzi's only losses to Julius Sanglickis. You know, and it wasn't a back and forth fight, but he was putting the pressure the whole time, and Julius was just snapping the jab in the face, and he couldn't take Julius down. But he fought a great fight. What a stud! We saw him in the casino afterwards, and he's got cotton swabs coming out of his nose. He's got trickles of blood like kind of down by his lip and on his chin, and I was like, man, this guy's out just having a good time, realizing like, hey, all the hard work's over, it's done.
Oh, yeah.
But overall, those are the fights that you're looking for. It made it fun. It made it a good fight because one person has no fight IQ, and the other person. I even talked to Gugu's Corners after. He's like, "Oh, what'd you think?" And I was like, "You guys got to get him to realize because the same thing happened with Anthony Rumble. He drops Rumble, and then he smothered the space, and Rumble was able to grab him, and he was like, and then he kind of dropped Rumble again, and he smothered the space again and lost the position. He just flurried so fast and crushed the space so much that nothing clean landed. And you ruined your opportunity because that would have put him in the semifinals against Nemkov.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like, it baffled me. It baffled me, John, that was the situation, that he fought that way, that careless, given the circumstances. But overall, it made for a fan favorite fight that night. It was it was a great fight.
I made the comment, look, Josh, I've seen thousands upon thousands upon thousands. That was one of the best fights I've ever seen based upon Alex Polizzi and his desire to not give in, his desire to come back, and what he did. Just amazing. I loved it.
Good stuff. Gadzi Robodanov, he fought J.J. Wilson, giving J.J. Wilson his first loss of his career. J.J. now is what, 7-0 or 7-1?
8-1.
8-1.
8-1.
Okay, 8-1. And the story was, when we talked to Gadzi, he's like, "Oh, I'm going to keep it on the feet, probably going to knock him out." But then he realized it's so much easier just to wrestle you, take you down, and just dominate everything I do from there. And that's what he did. He just realized, like, hey, these rounds are a little close.
He was losing the fight on his feet.
Yeah, which was crazy. I was expecting him to be dominating the fight on the feet and then sprawl and brawl or get a takedown to solidify the round.
Yeah.
I really look at what Islam Mamedov does. Like, he strikes a little bit, gets the takedown controlled. I thought if Gadzi was going to keep it on the feet, he's a lot more active of a fighter on the feet than Islam is. So he would just let the hands go, boom, 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 and let the hands go. And then when they were touching him, he'd probably get a takedown to probably secure the round. I thought maybe he'd fight that way. Once he realized this round was probably too close in the first round, he just was like, forget it. I'm going to the wrestling, making sure I secure this win. He had some good stuff on the feet, but the transitions for the wrestling, the threatening of a position, all of those things, I thought he fought a brilliant fight in terms of, look, I guess when you're getting to these levels, right, because Gadzi and JJ are ranked in the higher rankings. And the same thing with like Johnny Eblin and Salter and Phil Davis and Klitschko.
Well, JJ's not ranked because he's moving up. He moved up from featherweight into.
Well, they still have him in the 45s.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that. They still have him in the 45s. But still, they were both highly ranked. Both good fighters. Gadzi just came out. He was prepared for everything. He's a stud. I mean, I've trained with him before. I've seen him training. I've seen him sparring. He's a stud, man. He's going to be difficult for a lot of these guys in this 140 or in the 155-pound division. He's a little small for the weight.
Yeah.
A tiny bit.
Yeah, because you're looking at JJ coming up from 145 to 155, and he was actually the bigger fighter.
Yeah. The thing that, which is kind of surprising, because right with all the Dagestan fighters, all the Russian fighters, they all cut a ton of weight to get themselves to whatever weight class. He seems like he just walks in. He's like probably walking around about 70. He probably just walks in. I don't think he's much bigger than 70, maybe 73, 72, somewhere in there. He doesn't seem that big.
No, he's not.
I don't know what he walks around at, but he's not that big for a lightweight. So maybe when he gets up to the top and he's having to fight, the guys in that top 55 and the top 3 or 4, he may start having some issues and maybe cut down to 45. But I think right now he's like, why? I'm just going to enjoy eating whatever I want.
And look,
as long as I'm getting wins.
He's got power in his hands. He's got pop.
Yeah.
He
does. He rocked JJ a couple times.
Yes, he did. And say he stung JJ a couple of times. You could see it. JJ got hit and was like, "Oh shit," that hurt, and it kind of altered the fight a little bit. I thought JJ actually fought really well against a guy who is pretty composed, solid in his attacks, doesn't make a lot of mistakes. JJ, he had his moments, and he had his chance of winning that fight. It just slipped away with. I think JJ thought on his back he was going to be able to do things that he was unable to do. And that
Yeah,
was
that's
the
the majority of people that fight people from Dagestan
Yeah,
believe.
that's it.
They believe, I got this. I'm going to just get right up. Sure, buddy. You know, no, but just overall, Gatsby looked good. I thought it was the way he needed to win, you know, and he's on to the next one. The next one, the human cheat code. That drives me crazy. He's had so many damn names. I know we talked about it on air quite a bit. It was Johnny Eblin versus John Salter. I mean, I'm going to be 100% honest, John. I mean, we both kind of thought that Johnny was going to win this fight, Johnny Eblin, as long as he didn't overcommit on things. He didn't put himself out of position. If he made,
Didn't make a big
it could
mistake.
be one of those. He didn't make any big mistakes, and that's kind of what happened. You know, Johnny's had a couple knockouts. He's had a couple of vicious ground. Like he's good. He's good all the way around. He's going to be a problem for a lot of people. John Salter, I wanted to see in this fight because he's coming off of his loss to Gegard Mousasi where he just got dismantled. And when we talked to him the other week, he's like, I never understood why people, when they walked in there with Gegard, were like, yeah, I'm just going to like take him down or I'm going to get him out of position. He's like, and then I started seeing what he was doing. He's like flinching his legs, giving me feints. He's like, and then when I sprawled on him, he was like, his hips almost knocked me out. You know, he's like, he just fell dead weight on me. He's like, it's crazy. He's like, I could see why. He's like, the whole time I thought he was going to kick me because he kept flinching his legs. He kept turning his hips. He kept moving and flinching and feinting, with the upper body, then moving and twitching the bottom legs. And I'm like, people don't get. And they
Big
do.
dick energy, baby.
I think big dick energy. Yeah, he's got the big dick energy. I said, are you sure it was his leg he was moving, not his third leg? So he's like,